All right, guys, welcome back to the Champion Mads channel. It's Maddie here. Today is going to be our weekly Pokemon Champions meta report, where we highlight everything going on in the competitive VGC, metagame for Pokemon Champions. This video is specifically, this video series talks about double battles in VGC, mostly because there aren't really any competitive events and tournaments for singles battles, although hopefully that changes because singles is pretty fun, and I do want to cover it on the channel. But anyway, this past week, or just a few days ago, Victory Road hosted the Champions Arena tournament, which was a very large, very awesome tournament for Pokemon Champions for double battles. Over 1,000 players competed, and this is the data, and this is all of the teams and everything for the final results of the tournament. So for today's video, that's what we're going to do, is we're going to highlight all of these players, all of these different teams, all of these builds, and kind of give you guys an update as to what's going on in competitive Pokemon Champions right now. So here are the results. We've got Hyungwoo Shin. I apologize if I say these names really poorly, because I'm really bad with names. But gets first place, and you'll notice that a lot of the top placing teams playing Mega Charizard. However, Jorge or George or George Tabuyo, so bad with the names, man. I was playing Mega Charizard X, which is really cool. But anyway, Mega Charizard finding its way to a lot of these top teams. Charizard definitely seemingly just like the top dog all around. It's kind of crazy how good, Charizard is, but seemingly both Mega Charizards are just incredible Pokemon. But anyway, this first team here, let's take a look at this. This is the first place team of the tournament. You guys should still be able to see this. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, we're good, right? Yeah, we should be all right. Okay. All right. So yeah, playing Mega Charizard Y with Heat Wave, Weather Ball, Solar Beam, and Protect. Pretty standard. However, we're not seeing the Whimsicott like we have seen definitely in the opening weeks of Pokemon Champions with Mega Charizard. What we see is Sneasler. So this is going to be the White Herb Unburdened Sneasler with Fake Out, Dire Claw, Close Combat, and Protect. Very standard builds for Charizard and Sneasler. And then the competitive Milotic with Leftovers, definitely a really big, thing that's kind of popped up in Champions is the popularity of Milotic. Now, Milotic is no surprise to being a really strong competitive Pokemon, but I think right now is fighting its way into a lot of the top teams, and this first place team is just an example of this. And the way that people are playing Milotic is very interesting. If you guys haven't seen this already, this is going to be Leftovers Milotic, again, competitive as the ability, and it's playing Coil, Hypnosis, and Muddy Water. At least this player was playing, which is crazy. So Coil is a really interesting ability. It raises your defense, attack, and your accuracy by 1 stage each. Now, Milotic is not a physical attacker, but it does have a couple of very strong moves that have low accuracy, Hypnosis being one of them. And of course, I think Muddy Water is also not a super accurate move, but it does also reduce the accuracy of your opponent's Pokemon when you attack them, which is kind of crazy. So Milotic here, not only is it boosting up its defense with Coil, which makes it a little bit more tanky, especially into physical attackers. You can recover to stay alive, but also spam Muddy Water and drop the accuracy of your opponent's Pokemon, which is going to be a really big deal. But honestly, like, Coil Hypnosis is kind of crazy. If you can get at least 1 Coil off, I believe Hypnosis goes from 60% accurate to 80% accurate. And if you do end up getting double Coils off, not only are you boosting your defense up 2 stages, but Hypnosis becomes, I think, like 97% accurate. So incredibly accurate. Milotic, very tanky with Leftovers. It's just a tanky Pokemon in general. And then, of course, Recover to keep it alive. Hypnosis spam to put your opponent's Pokemon to sleep. And then you spam Muddy Water as well to reduce their accuracy. It's a very, very toxic Pokemon. And absolutely incredible in this team here. And because Mega Charizard is one of the best Pokemon in the game, and it's a fire type, and of course likes to play Venusaur for the grass coverage, Milotic thrown into the team makes a ton of sense because you have a really strong grass, fire, water core, which is going to be really great for coverage all across the board, but also offensive and defensively just really, really good. We are playing Focus Sash, Chlorophyll, Venusaur. Venusaur is still pretty common in Charizard teams. However, not that many Charizard teams, or not nearly as many Charizard teams are playing Venusaur these days. So Venusaur, definitely still a strong Pokemon with, again, Sleep Powder, so even more sleep on the team. And then, of course, the Focus Sash with Protect, Energy Ball, and Sludge Bomb. He's playing, this player was playing Citrus Berry Garchomp, which is pretty crazy. In single battles, Scarf Garchomp is absolutely dominating the metagame, but Garchomp extremely good in double battles, of course, for the Stab Earthquakes, but also because, Charizard's a flying type, and of course, Garchomp is super strong, but has great coverage with Dragon type, Rock type moves with Rock Slide, even though it's not a Stab Rock Slide. Garchomp has absolutely ridiculous attack stat on Garchomp. So Rock Slide's going to be super good, especially for going up against other Charizard teams. And he's playing Dragon Claw for some good single damage coverage, and then Earthquake. And like I said, clicking stab Earthquake with Garchomp with Charizard on the field is going to be really, really strong. Just the spread damage is incredible. Yeah, just such a good team. I think this is like the all-star team right here for Pokemon Champions. And then of course we have what item is this? Is this Tropical Berry? I forget. Is this the one that protects against fighting type moves? I think it is. So the fighting damage reduction berry on Incineroar with Intimidate, Fake Out, Throat Chop, Parting Shot, and Flare Blitz. So, pretty standard sets across the board, I would say. But honestly, I think this inclusion of this new Milotic tech really puts a lot of these Charizard teams really over the edge. And this Milotic's going to be good on a variety of different teams. But in general, just super strong. And it pairs nicely on these Charizard teams because they are inherently kind of weak to, the Rock Slide spam. So Milotic's going to be able to eat up those Rock Slides. But also, Muddy Water, dropping the accuracy is going to greatly reduce, the chances of your opponent even landing some of those Rock Slides. So just kind of the perfect partner for these Charizard teams. And again, I know this tournament came out a couple of days ago, but if you are, I guess, behind on the curve, or if you're just kind of learning about this now, Milotic really ending up being a very dominant Pokemon in these double battle teams. I mean, this team is absolutely stacked, like a terrifying team to go up against. Great coverage across the board, so many big threats. You got single target damage, you got spread damage, you get double Fake Out users, Intimidate. It's got literally everything. This team has everything going for it. Absolutely insane team. And then right here, George's team or Jorge's team in second place. This is going to be an also very interesting team, a dual Mega team playing both Mega Tyranitar and Mega Charizard, but this is Mega Charizard X. I like Mega Charizard X. Now, it's a little bit, I think, bulkier. Actually, the defenses might be the same on Mega Charizard, but one thing I do know is that it has more physical attack, obviously, and I don't believe its speed drops. I think Mega Charizard Y loses 10 stat points into its speed, where Mega Charizard X doesn't. Now, that might be relevant, I don't know. But Mega Charizard X with Protect, Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, Flare Blitz. So kind of a setup build with this Mega Charizard, which I love. I love, when we can get Mega Charizard out there. It's also going to do fairly well into your opponent's Charizards, Mega Charizard wise, right? Because you're Dragon Fire, so you greatly resist both the Fire type and the Grass type attacks that Mega Charizard likes to throw out. So that's a pretty big deal. Mega Charizard X, really quite strong. And then Mega Tyranitar, which here we're playing Crunch, Rock Slide, and High Horsepower. Mega Tyranitar is specifically a bit of a counterplay to Mega Charizard. It is typically slower, but it's not always slower, but theoretically, you also get the Sand Stream up when you Mega Evolve. So if you Mega Evolve second, you can kind of make sure that your opponent's Charizard will not be getting the Sun up that turn, and you can get the Sand up. Mega Tyranitar, again, with the Sand boost to its special defense, is honestly one of the most ridiculous Pokemon in the game. Like, this thing is so strong. Its stats are ridiculous. Rock Slide from this is going to deal just an absurd amount of damage. And then, of course, Crunch for that single target damage. It's going to be just so much damage. This player also playing Milotic, but playing a different set. Still Leftovers competitive, but they were playing Protect, Recover, and then Icy Wind and Scald. So they're playing a bit more of a supportive Milotic, but in a different way. I guess the other one's also kind of a support build Milotic, but this seems a bit more standard as far as like which type of Pokemon or which, build traditionally people would play with Milotic. Really nice speed control with Icy Wind, Scald damage, getting those burns out, going to be really, really big. Yeah, I mean, Milotic is just a great Pokemon, and I think it's going to see a ton of play in doubles, whether it is that sort of Coil Hypnosis build or, as we see here, just sort of the more standard Scald Icy Wind version. Still got Sneasler in here, but this is Coaching Sneasler, which is going to go absolutely super hard with Mega Charizard and Tyranitar as physical attackers. Coaching Sneasler, man, is terrifying, especially, with that Mega Tyranitar lead. It's not something you're going to want to deal with whatsoever. That +1 Rock Slide stab on the Mega Tyranitar is going to absolutely take lives. And then we're playing Citrus Berry, Incineroar with Intimidate, Fake Out, Throat Shot, Flare Blitz, all of the typical stuff. I think we cut Protect off Sneasler here. Still playing Fake Out, Dire Claw, Close Combat, but with Coaching instead. Coaching Sneasler is really good. It is just quite good. But anyway, also here we're playing Sinistcha. So, with that Hospitality, able to heal up. We are playing Life Dew, kind of keep that Tyranitar / Charizard / Milotic alive. It's a really fun team. This is also, I think, one of my favorite teams that I've seen really since Champions came out. Again, we also have the Grass, Fire, Water coverage here. Just great typing across the board, covering just basically anything you might need. Mostly physical damage, though. And that's the thing about this team. Going to be a little bit susceptible to, that Coil Milotic and things like that can't really take, that can tank up physical damage pretty well. Mega Aggron sees a little bit of play on the Champions Ladder. I don't know in tournament play how much Mega Aggron sees play, tons of physical damage out here, and that's what this team really does best. To physical damage and physical defense, just kind of dominating on that side of the field. And also the Sinistcha with Trick Room. So we are getting, we do have a little bit of Trick Room in here, kind of counteract some of those Tailwind teams. All these, of course, are really nice options. Sinistcha is still, I think, one of the more popular Pokemon in Champions. It's absolutely broken across the board. So much healing, so much support, also redirection. Machagacha does a lot of damage, quite frankly. And of course, Life Dew for the healing and Trick Room. So a really fun team. This is honestly like one of my favorite teams I've ever seen. So really, really, really cool. Next up, this is going to be Juan Benitez in third place, and this is his team, more of a standard traditional, kind of Mega Charizard team, akin to what we were seeing earlier when Pokemon Champions released here. This is going to be Mega Charizard Y with Protect and Heat Wave and, Solar Beam and whatnot, playing Overheat as well. And then Whimsicott. And this is going to be Tailwind. So this is going to be a dual Tailwind, dual Trick Room team, right? So having that option is going to be nice with Scarf Garchomp. So Scarf Garchomp, poking his head out of single battles. Of course, Scarf Garchomp's going to be good no matter what. I mean, Garchomp is honestly one of the better Pokemon of all time, but also in Champions for sure. Still got the Sneasler in here, and then King Gambit. And I do think King Gambit goes pretty well with, the old Trick Room Armor Tail Farigiraf, right? So Trick Room's still one of the better strategies, I would say. It's fun to see a team whenever they play kind of both Tailwind and Trick Room, so that you have some options across the board. Farigiraf is just a really good Pokemon. We're playing actually in Prison, Hyper Voice, Psychic, Trick Room. So, in Prison on the Farigiraf, going to be able to turn off your opponent's ability to use these moves. So if you wanted to stop your opponent from Trick Rooming, or I guess, Hyper Voice spamming, if you were playing other strategies, I don't know. And Prison's definitely an interesting move there on Farigiraf, which I do like. And, of course, we've got the Defiant Black Glasses King Gambit to kind of come in and Sucker Punch and just be absolutely incredible. One of the few true counters. I know close combat, Sneasler's going to be really, really strong in Tyranitar. But low kick, King Gambit, also really good in Trick Room. Just kind of absolutely blow up Tyranitars. Low kick will just take them out of the game. So yeah, but much more of a standard team here. But I do like it. Again, Mega Charizard's really all across the board here. In fourth place is going to be Yosef Ugarte. I am so sorry if I'm butchering the names, from the United States. And this is going to be Mega T-Tar again. So kind of the first team that we're seeing here without Charizard. Still playing Mega Tyranitar. This is also a really fun team. We've got Scarfed Hydreigon, one of the more popular, I guess one of the better Choice Scarf users, I would say, in Pokemon Champions. Great special attack, really fast speed with the Choice Scarf, and then you have really good options for coverage, for damage, so Dark type Stab, Dark Pulse, and Snarl. So Snarl's a really big deal. I believe it drops special attack, so a really nice kind of supportive option on the Hydreigon. It's a spread move and actually does a lot of damage because it's Stab and it's Hydreigon. And here we got the Rotom Wash. I love Rotom Wash with Citrus Berry, Thunderbolt, Hydro Pump, Will-O-Wisp, and Protect. So Hydreigon, Rotom playing kind of dual supportive builds. And then we've got White Herb Mimikyu. White Herb Mimikyu is really fun. So it's actually a really cool option to kind of play it into leadoffs where you think your opponent's going to be leading, maybe Incineroar. You can kind of pop that White Herb, get your attack not reduced, and then pop off with things like Play Rough and Shadow Claw. So a really cool really cool inclusion for this team. And then we go, of course, have Physical Wall, Corviknight with Bulk Up and Brave Bird, right, with Roost and Leftovers, and then Tailwind. So it is going to be our Tailwind user for this team. Mega T-Tar with a standard kind of build here, and then of course, we're playing Knockoff instead of Crunch, by the way. And then with the Focus Sash Excadrill. This combo is so dangerous. Like anybody that's played the ladder and has hit the Excadrill Tyranitar combo just kind of sometimes loses to Rock Slide, because Excadrill is so fast in Sand Rush, and these Rock Slides deal so much damage that if they get a couple early flinches off, like it's kind of GG because it's so much damage, right? And any kind of counterplay you might have had to Tyranitar, if they just go double Rock Slide on you and they get you the flinch, like good luck. It's not gonna be a fun time whatsoever, but a really, really fun team. And I like it. I like the Sand teams. Sun definitely very dominant, but shout out to the Sand teams. Fifth place here. This is gonna be Jiang Jinhao. I think is how we say it. Another Mega Charizard team. This time playing Torkoal. So we got double Drought I guess, sunsetters, sunsetting Pokemon with Mega Charizard Y and Torkoal. So, double out there. Here we're actually playing, I think this is the Fairy Feather, Magic Bounce Hatterene, which is really cool with Dazzling Gleam. I like this. So another kind of pretty good Trick Room setter, double Trick Room setters, double Sunsetters on this team. I really like it, kind of going all in on the strategy, but very, very good. White Herb on the Incineroar is kind of crazy. And then, Black Glass's King Gambit. This time playing Iron Head in here instead of the low kick. So also another team that I really like, a very interesting way to play Charizard, one that I haven't seen too often. Hatterene is kind of one of my favorite Pokemon. You get the Psychic and the Fairy type, which is always really nice. I think this Fairy Feather is going to boost the damage for Dazzling Gleam. Hatterene has really, really high special attack. Like it's an incredible special wall. It's sort of similar like Primarina. But yeah, this Dazzling Gleam is going to deal a ton of damage. Very slow as well. So, Farigiraf kind of the better Trick Room setter in most cases because you have the Armor Tail protection. But yeah, Hatterene's going to be a big threat. Getting that Trick Room up is going to be a big deal. Magic Bounce is relevant. There are going to be some scenarios where that Magic Bounce is going to be a really big deal. So, shout out to Hatterene there. And a fun team. Playing 3 different Fire-type Pokemon, which is a bit crazy, and playing 2 Psychic Pokemon. So the coverage here is a little bit lacking, but in the things that it does do, it does very, very strongly. So that is pretty cool. 6th place, we've got Pedro Martinez, straight off the Boston Red Sox, I guess. That's probably a common name. I don't know why I even made that joke. But anyway, 6th place, shout out to him with another really fun team. So this is Mega Aerodactyl and Mega Frosslass. This might be straight from like a wolf video. I don't even know, but I know Mega Aerodactyl is actually pretty dangerous because it can duel as, of course, a really fast Tailwind setter, which is really, really good, but also putting pressure on your opponent's Pokemon. That Rock Slide going to be able to outspeed Charizard and take KOs, which is a really big deal. We got Citrus Garchomp in here. And then here we finally see a Basculegion. This is not going to be a Scarf Basculegion, but it's going to be a Focus Sash Basculegion, which is interesting. We still got Sneasler in here with, I believe, the Chople Berry King Gambit. If you're fully invested in defense, King Gambit should be able, with Chople Berry, to live fighting type moves. I think it's called Chople Berry. I might be getting that wrong. It's a fun team. I like this team because, Frosslass is going to be some type of, weather support. So, you are going to be able to play this and kind of get rid of your opponent's weather. However, keep in mind, Charizard's still going to be hitting you for weakness and probably just KOing you. But we are playing Aurora Veil on this team. So, in the games where, of course, you're playing against Charizard, maybe that's why we have Aerodactyl, of course. But in the games where we don't necessarily, sorry, my phone just started ringing. We don't have to worry about Charizard in some matchups, and then Frosslass is going to be really good. So I like it. The issue with Frosslass, even though it is such a strong Pokemon, is that Tyranitar and Charizard are extremely popular in common right now and very strong, and they're both Pokemon that hit us for weakness pretty hard. So that's kind of the tricky part about Frosslass. But if your opponent's playing neither of those Pokemon, probably going to be pretty well advantaged, and it is immune to Fake Out on turn 1, which is always a really, really big deal. I like this team. I do. It's a cool team. The Focus Sash Basculegion is crazy to me, but I also think Mega Aerodactyl is kind of slept on, if I'm going to be honest with you. Next up, Francesco Lozia. I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry with the names. Another Mega Charizard X team, this time playing dual Megas with Mega Scizor. Mega Scizor is absolutely dominant in single battles, but, the same concept sort of applies to double battles, right? If you get that Swords Dance up, the stab, +2 bullet punch on the Scizor with Technician is going to deal a ton of damage. Going to be really good. Of course, maybe not that useful in other Charizard teams, but that's why we have Milotic. That's why we have Mega Charizard X, which are going to be strong options into those matchups. Also, this Incineroar playing a different berry. I forget which one this one does. Maybe it's the water type reduction berry. I think it is. I don't remember all of the names of those berries off the top of my head, sadly. Also got the the support Sinistcha here and Sneasler with coaching. So coaching Sneasler definitely becoming a bit popular with Charizard, as we saw in that other team with Mega Charizard X. But instead of Tyranitar, we got Mega Scizor. And let me just tell you, the coaching Swords Dance lead for Scizor, like if you can get that off, which I know you probably wouldn't go fully committed to that, but I mean, good luck. I mean, Scizor's got really good natural bulk. And basically anything that's not a fire type move, you're probably surviving. So being able to kind of punch back with like a super boosted stab bullet punch is going to be a big deal. Also Bug Bite. People sleep on Bug Bite with Scizor, super good. Not only is the damage boosted by Technician because it's a 60 base damage move, but berries are so popular in Champions. Being able to steal your opponent's Citrus Berry and then just kind of heal is crazy. Like Bug Bite's a super good move. I think one of the more random buffs that Scizor got in Pokemon Champions right now. So very, very cool. Love that team. Sorry, I accidentally, my bad. I pressed back too many times. And then lastly, let's talk about this 8th place team. It's funny because 9th, 10th, and 11th place teams are all playing Mega Floette. But we're just going to cover, we'll cover all of these teams. Why not? Or let's do it real quick. This is going to be Mega Meganium with Trick Room. Farigiraf. This one is playing Choice Scarf, Basculegion, and also, so it's a duel. We got Tailwind, Aerodactyl, which I think are really good support options to play with Mega Meganium. Mega Meganium's strong. Of course, also one of the better Mega Pokemon in the game. However, also Charizard exists, so it's tough. It's tough to kind of sit here and be like, we should play Meganium when everyone's playing Charizard, but it is still a very, very, very strong Pokemon. I love the fact that no matter what the weather is, we can get the Fire-type Weather Balls out. So it's got really great coverage, basically. Meganium's like the coverage god with Stab's Solar Beam in one turn, and then, of course, get Dazzling Gleam, and then, the Fire-type Weather Ball. It's a really nice, cover. It's got great coverage as a special attacker. But yeah, really fun team. Really good team. This is like, Aerodactyl really is sort of the most popular Tailwind setter in the game, but I think Trick Room is kind of being a little bit more dominant right now than Tailwind is, at least. I mean, I don't know. It's probably a mix, to be honest, but I think Trick Room is really, really good. Definitely good. Helping Hand on the Farigiraf is really nice as well. Kind of an underrated move. I haven't seen that much Helping Hand in Champions. It's interesting. Like, I know it's maybe not like the most popular thing, like always, but Helping Hand is on a lot of Pokemon, and I think a lot of Pokemon should be playing Helping Hand. Because I think it definitely like fixes a lot of the damage calcs to take KO sometimes. That's just me. Maybe it's not that good. 9th place, we have Conan, Yoshikawa, another Mega Charizard team, this time with Mega Floette. So Mega Charizard Y and Mega Floette. We got the Tailwind, Aerodactyl in here, Choice Scarf, Basculegion, and then we've got King Gambit. And this time a Soft Sand Garchomp. So no Citrus Berry, no Focus, or no Choice Scarf or anything like that. Just the sand boosted Earthquakes. It's gonna that extra 20% might be relevant. Honestly, not playing Rock Slide though, so absolutely no coverage there other than Aerodactyl itself hitting Rock Slide, which is probably maybe all you need. Citrus Berry on the Aerodactyl is crazy. I wonder if this is like a bulky trained Aerodactyl. Of course, we don't have the stat spreads, but kind of makes me think that might be a possibility. And then Wide Guard. Wide Guard massively slept on. I think that if you can run Wide Guard on your team, it's going to be a really, really big deal. Of course, it's a little bit tricky to use because I think there's a weird interaction, I honestly forget off the top of my head, between like Protect and Wide Guard. So like if you hit Wide Guard, you can't also like play Protect in some scenarios. So it's a little bit of a risky play, but the ability to double block your opponent's going to be a really, really big deal. So fun team. Mega Floette's really, really good. Mega Floette is a lot of people think it's the strongest Mega Pokemon in the game, and I think in terms of like pure damage output, it honestly is. This is going to be a Mega Scizor Mega Floette team. Also playing Sneasler, but no coaching on the Sneasler here. Kind of still got the Aerodactyl play here with Tailwind, but no Wide Guard on this Aerodactyl. We got the Sinistra here. Is this the Ghost type, the Cassiberry? What damage does Cassiberry reduce? It's not fire, is it? Is it Ghost? What, I forget. Is it Dark? I forget. Interesting though. Definitely very interesting. I think that Sinistra is really cool with Floette. You can play Drain and Kiss sometimes there to kind of keep Floette alive for a very long time. But yeah, this is a fun team. I like it. It's very strange. Like when you look at the standings, and I know, the difference, right, between, being in top 4 and being in top 8 is like just like one game. Like, so, you don't want to put like too much weight into like the differences between the people in the top 4 and then the 4 below that. But Charizard kind of finding its way into 3 of the top 4 teams. And then also in 5th place is interesting, whereas some of the teams below not playing Charizard, but they are playing like Floette or Scizor or other Megas, Marcus Co's team, Marcus Co. Very similar. Wait, no, we just took a look at this. Did we not? We did. Yeah, we just took a look at his team, right? Or no? Is it different than Conan's team? Am I lost? I feel like we just took a look at this team. Did we not? I forget. I'm spacing. But very similar. Yeah, I feel like we just took a look at this. Did we not? We must have. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. All right. Anyway, lastly, let's take a look at Pablo Rico's team and shout out to him with the Aegislash thrown in here. So this is the first Aegislash that we're seeing. The second time we're seeing Rotom Wash as well. This time with Electro Web for some damage support, which I like. Choice Scarf, Rotom Wash. Rotom is a really good Pokemon to Scarf as well. Kind of underrated. In that sense, Electro Web going to be really good speed control. I really like it. You are locked into moves. Like that's sort of course, the thing with Choice Scarf, but being able to outspeed and get that Electro Web off is honestly sometimes a really big deal. Or you can kind of pop off and get that Will-O-Wisp pop and have a ton of support that way. Here we've got Garchomp with Habanberry, which I forget again which types these berries reduce. I really do. I apologize. But interesting nonetheless. Only one Mega on this team, and that's going to be Mega Floette. Yeah, Garchomp also one of the heroes here. It's interesting to note, like if we go back to the standings, like Milotic found its way in kind of both teams in Grand Finals. So Milotic might have been kind of the big difference, also in 7th place. But keep in mind, Aerodactyl, extremely common in these teams. Sneasler, probably the most Sneasler and Incineroar, you know, they are just sort of like kind of the best Pokemon. What's nice about Sneasler and Incineroar, I think, is that you can kind of play them on like any team, and they have so much support, but also like they kind of fit with so many different megas. Like it is interesting that like Incineroar, Milotic, and Sneasler found its way into like both of the top 2 teams. But yeah, Sneasler is absolutely ridiculous. I think Sneasler is the best Pokemon in Champions, like just like non-megas aside. But Aerodactyl, very prevalent. 5 different Aerodactyls here in top 11. One of them being Mega is definitely pretty cool. Frosslass find its way in. A couple of Mega T-Tars as well. Garchomp, very common as well across the board. Several different Garchomps. So yeah, very, very cool. Very cool standings. And, you know, definitely some progression in terms of what the metagame looks like for Pokemon Champions. Really fun to see. Again, shout out to Victory Road, shout out to all of these players, and shout out to you guys. If you're watching this video, are you surprised by this at all? I think the Milotic stuff is a really big progression, especially for Charizard teams, but Mega Charizard X seems very, very interesting. You know, with Sneasler, with coaching, there's a lot that you can do there. I find that to be definitely broken. And then Mega T-Tar, I honestly think Mega T-Tar is extremely good, but I'm surprised a bit to see Mega Scizor in here a couple times, as well as Mega Aerodactyl. Definitely interesting. So lots of variety. I mean, how many different megas are in this sort of top of the standings, right? In this top 11. There's both Charizards. There was, let's see, Tyranitar, Aerodactyl, Frosslass, Meganium, and Floette. So quite a few. And Scizor. So quite a few different megas being competitively relevant in Champions, which is pretty cool. Really, really cool to see. Yeah, anyway, guys, there you go. There's our kind of meta update, our meta report for this week of Champions. I'm sure there's going to be more tournaments. Pokemon Champions is a really healthy tournament metagame for grassroots, but there's also the official events, which I don't think we've had one yet, of course, in Champions, but they are going to be coming, and the results are going to be very interesting to watch as well. So should be really fun. I'm excited for the future of Champions. Hopefully some more singles tournaments come down. I know we have a lot of people on the channel that like to play single battles, so it'd be really fun to have like a battle spot or battle stadium singles battle tournament. Maybe we'll work on that. Who knows? I don't know if people would be that interested in playing in it. Maybe they would. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, really fun to see the meta progress. So anyway, let's wrap this up, guys. Peace out. Have a good one. We'll see you guys later. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We are a new channel, and thank you guys for 3,000 subscribers. But yeah, stay tuned. All right, guys. Let's get out of here. Peace out. Have a good one. Bye.